Righto, thoroughbreds, welcome back or welcome to another episode of Penalty Broncos. We are the number one Broncos podcast that we listen to. I'm coming to you from the bandwagon bar. We have Ringer and Langer joining us from across this glorious state that is Queensland. Langers, how's your week been, mate?
Yeah, pretty good, mate. Actually, it's rare for us to get a week worth of work in town, but yeah, that was the week that was, which was good. We're in the army, there just doing a bit of sort of routine maintenance and whatnot. Obviously, still a little bit wet. We got an Iveco bogged, which is
Wow.
quite a feat for us
That's a
to
box.
accomplish. Yeah, yeah. So that was fun trying to get that out. But no. Apart from that, yeah, just good to be back in town and on a bit of holidays now, leading up to Easter, obviously. So yeah, no, it was good, mate. It was good.
Yeah, good stuff. What about you, Ringer, mate?
Yeah, mate, same old this week. Gronk actually turned up in the week back home here, so we've been tag teaming this fencing contract we put ourselves into after the floods, and we're still up it. All good fun, mate, all good fun. But yeah, that's sort of been what we've been up to this week. Got to see a little bit of footy on the weekend, which is always good. So Easter's fast approaching, mate, so get your eggs out for the kids and all that sort of shit starting this week, no doubt.
Yeah, that's
How
it.
about you?
Yeah, we got a bit of an Easter egg hunt going to happen here on Sunday. Langers is going to come over with his groblin, so we should be a fun time watching 5 or 6 kids run around the yard like crazy before they all get bloody diabetes.
Yeah.
But no, bloody, we've had a bit of a quiet week here. We've sort of had people everywhere. The missus was down in Brisbane for a bloody soccer carnival with our oldest. And it was just me and the younger 3, and somehow every single one of them seemed to get an incident report at the vacation care. They've got skin off them left, right, and bloody centre. So having a whale of a time they are. We will get into the review of the game that was at Suncorp up against the Roosters there. We got to, hey, well, all I can say is, while we're doing this, and it might be painful, at least we're not the Knighted boys having the stroll through that shit fight that happened this afternoon. And just a personal shout out to Mr. KP. Thanks for absolutely fucking my super coach too. I went from toweling Langers up to getting flogged in 60 minutes of footy. Yeah. But anyway, 4th game in a row we had there at Stadium at Suncorp. Great turnout again. All the thoroughbreds have absolutely outdone themselves. For all the Dolphins fans that tried to say it was because of their fans that they cracked 40K the other weekend, only 19K of you guys turned up for the Panthers game. So sit back down is what I've got to say about that. But no, pat on the back to the thoroughbreds for getting out there. There's only this is not only the 4th game in a row at Suncorp, and it's the 4th game in a row that our lads have played in front of 40K plus. So great efforts there. From a nerd aspect, that means Suncorp has been over 75% of capacity for each game. And when you compare that with other stadiums around the league, absolutely amazing. I think Queensland Country Bank's running at about 60% or something like that. So certainly getting out and about. But anyway, a couple of quick stats on the game. First half was 12-20 to the Roosters. Second half was 4-6 to the Roosters for a 16-26 loss for the Broncos there. Possession was 47% to 53% towards the Roosters. Completion rate, again, we just let ourselves down here. Langers has got a bit of a pick-me-up for all those optimistic people out there in his run. But for me, they nearly completed as many sets as what we were given to attempt. They had 36 completed sets. We had 39 attempted. And that you're just never going to win footy games easily. I mean, you can win them, sure, but doesn't make it easy on yourself. we got the average set meters. We were at 38.6, 5 meters more than what the Roosters were getting on average. And then the tackle efficiency, 91.58%, was better than the Roosters at 87.35. Penalties conceded, 5, up against their 8, which was good. But the errors, 13 errors each. And I've got a little bit of a bug to bear with those errors. The refereeing, and I know we shouldn't bash them. I know they say if you can't, if you want it to be better, get out there and do something about it. I'm fucked. I can't do that. Like, I can't. I've never been a top grade ref, so I've got fuck all to do. So don't come at me with that shit. But like, seriously, the reffing this weekend as a whole, no matter who your team is, I think's, and I do feel sorry for them. I feel like they're just trying to fill in some KPIs or an agenda or whatever. So, but anyway, this loss drops us to 3rd on the overall ladder, tied with the Raiders, Rabbitohs, and the Warriors. We have the 3rd highest positive for and against, so that's keeping us at the top of the heap there. But obviously this coming weekend will be a tiebreaker there with us and the Warriors and whatnot, and we'll see where we sit at the end of it. But anyway, Langers, we'll get into your review, mate. It's a bit of a fan favourite. People are enjoying it, mate, so get into it.
Right, thoroughbreds. Cheers for that, Britto. Broncos versus the Roosters. Now, normally we sort of had a bit of pep in our step when I sort of do these ones, but this is a bit of a somber affair, but we'll take the veggies when we get our desserts, I guess. So, first sort of 10 minutes, the Roosters with just all the momentum. They just came out firing, and I just don't understand why shit teams decide to absolutely turn it on when they want to start playing the Broncos. Like, what the fuck? Look at the West Tigers today. They were fucking shit for the first 20 minutes. But no, when they play the Broncos, they just want to go absolutely ham. It's fucking bullshit. But anyway, it was good to see that the Broncos' defense just held strong through all that pressure. And then in the 11th minute, we had a 2-point penalty goal for the Roosters after a high shot from Reece Walsh, so 0-2. 13th minute, we had a try to Billy Smith after beating Reece Walsh to the high ball. Look, you give credit where credit was due. It was actually a pretty good take.
Yeah.
Billy. Poor sort of judgment from Reece, unfortunately. Kick converted, 0-8 after 13 minutes. Then in the 17th minute, we had a little bit of an unusual sort of show. We had a downtown penalty to the Broncos against Connor Watson. So that downtown penalty, apparently it's going to be enforced more. It was supposed to be enforced a bit more last season. We didn't really see it, but it's going to be enforced a bit more this season. So if you don't know what the downtown penalty is, thoroughbreds, it's basically the downtown rule is when attacking players are penalised for moving forward before the ball is kicked. So players between the dummy half and the kicker must remain behind the ruck until the ball is kicked. So basically, Connor Watson, he was dummy half, hook or roll. He's passed it back to fucking whoever, Tedesco, Smith, whoever. They've kicked the ball, but before the boot has hit the ball, Connor has already started marching upfield. And that's where the downtown penalty comes to play. Obviously, you have to wait until the ball is kicked before you can start advancing up the field. He didn't do that. So we had a downtown penalty to the Broncos on the 17th minute. Basically, from that, it was the Broncos' sort of first real attacking opportunity, and unfortunately nothing came of it because Selwyn Cobbo was forced out off to the sidelines. So sort of a bit disappointing about that. We were sort of having pretty good runs with our first attacking opportunities the last few weeks. We normally convert those to points, but is what it is. In the 19th minute, we had a sin bin for Billy Smith for a high shot on Reece Walsh. Attacking opportunity once again, not converted into points. This time we had Benny Hunt going over the sideline with the ball. Well, he didn't actually go over there. He was sort of heading that way, and then he just sort of flicked the ball back and it went out. So another attacking opportunity not converted, unfortunately. But the next minute later, then 20th minute, we had a lovely little intercept from Selwyn Cobbo to just streak down the field for the Broncos' first try. So that was lovely to see. Basically, if you sort of rewatch it, if he didn't intercept that ball, then Tupou was gone. He would have
Yeah.
ran 50 metres and the Roosters would have scored again. So good on Selwyn for getting that intercept. Kick hit the uprights, so not converted. Unusual for the little general not to convert those ones. But, kick hit the uprights, 4-8. So then in the 23rd minute, which was just lovely, was tasty little build-up from our boy, once again, Payne Haas, just marching down the field with 3 Roosters on the back of him. It was lovely to see. From that, we had a quick little scoot from Corey Pakes onto Reynolds, draws the defender, passes to Jack, passes to Pakes, draws into Desco, passes to Reece Walsh, who scores under the sticks. Just an absolute superb passage of play. You love to see it from all involved. It was lovely. It was just poetry in motion. It was really, really good to see. Obviously, scoring under the sticks, very easy convert. He does that. Kick converted, 10-8. 29th minute, we had a sin bin for Jack Guswalski, however the fuck you want to say it. Just going to refer to you as Jack from now on, for a high shot once again. 30th minute, so not too long after that, Angus Crichton puts the bumpers straight into the throat of Adam Reynolds. Man, that would have hurt. But so sees him on report, and we get a penalty kick, and Reece Walsh steps up and he does the penalty kick, because obviously Adam's just trying to find where his larynx is on the field somewhere. Reece converts that one, 12-8. In the 34th minute, we had the second try to the Roosters and the second try to Billy Smith after a little grubber from James Tedesco. Yeah, we won't really talk about that one too much. Kick converted, 12-14. Then 3 minutes later, in the 37th minute, we had a try to Angus Crichton after what I will call a bullshit head-high penalty from Katoni Staggs. We might talk about that a little bit later. Kick converted, 12-20. And that was half time. So from that, 2 Roosters tries while Jack was in the bin. So that's, obviously cost us. High shot penalty, bullshit, just on show once again, leading to 2 sin bins. Missed opportunities from the Broncos. We had obviously Cobbo going out the side. We had Hunt going out the side. And Reynolds tried to do a little kick over the top to Arthurs that was plucked out of the air by Dom Young as well.
Mm-hmm.
So had a couple of missed opportunities there. 6 agains, once again, just out of control. But anyway, in the second half, 10 minutes of just back and forth with neither team scoring. Had a failed short dropout from the Roosters at the 45th minute. So just another tick in my box of why you should get that shit out of your game. But anyway, 50th minute, we had a try to Jesse Arthurs after a successful captain's challenge. So lovely to see a successful captain's challenge from our boys. Just another one of those lovely little cutout passes from Reece Walsh that he seems to just love to do. Kick, once again, not converted, which is very unusual from the little fella. 16-20. And then sort of more 15 minutes of just sort of backwards and forwards play. Then in the 65th minute, we had a crash over try for Nate Butcher right next to the sticks after just repeat sets of 6 for the Roosters' 4th try. Those 6 again just fucking kill you after a while. Kick converted, 16-26. And that was basically it for the sort of highlights. The rest of the game was just, more backwards and forwards, missed opportunities. Full-time score of 16-26, 26-16, however you want to look at it. Just sort of full-time notes. We've got just disappointing to watch, I think a lot of thoroughbreds, basically, even if you're not a Broncos fan, you're expecting a massively different score than what came about. I think everyone was just expecting Broncos to just do a similar sort of job than what they did in round 1. I know the bookies were definitely thinking that way. Too many 6 agains. It's getting out of control. We'll probably touch on that. Arthurs, he had a failed HIA from a head clash, so hopefully that big fella's all right and he can step up. He's not injured or anything like that. We had a few missed opportunities in the second half as well. We had Big X. He crossed over the line and scored with his elbows, so that's unfortunate that didn't come away. And then we had a forward pass from Reynolds in another attacking opportunity as well. That was after that failed short dropout. So another couple of, missed opportunities there. Spencer Leniu can eat a big bag of dicks. Fuck him. As long as he's not anywhere near me. We got the Warriors next week, so hopefully we can be a little bit better. We can improve a little bit. But as Britto said, the optimist in me, and if I'll spin it the optimist way, right? So Reynolds normally converts. He is one of the top, goal kickers, whatever you want to call it, in the league nearly all time. He's the Hazem Al-Mazari of today's era. And so for him to miss 2 out of 3, it's uncharacteristic of him. So if you think he made them, then it's 20-26. And then, like I said, in the first half, we had Cobbo, Hunt, and the Reynolds kick to Arthurs. We had 3 missed opportunities. And in the second half, we had the big X try and that forward pass as well. So we had 5 missed opportunities. So really, it's not too bad for how we played compared to how the Roosters played. Like, they were just a better team on the night. Like, let's face it, they came to party and the Broncos couldn't match them. So it was an unfortunate watch, but hopefully it's, something that they can look back on and sort of refocus themselves and figure out what went wrong and not let it happen again.
That's the go. Bloody, I went after Royce Hunt last week. I don't know which one's more dangerous, mate.
Yeah. Both unstable human beings. Jonathan's got my back.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no, that was a great breakdown. It's the play-by-play just reminds you of so much shit that came up. How many opportunities we did have missed. Cobbo going out in that very first was a bit of a sour sort of dampener on the game, especially Cobbo would have been filthy with himself there. I know that intercept would have made up for a fair bit, but he still would have been, pretty dirty and whatnot. I've got to give a shout out straight up for Jack. As much of a speed bump that he was against the Tigers, he made up for it. He did some serious training during the week and had a serious think about it, because his contact was just second to none, and he was hunting for him as well.
Completely different.
Completely different. He wasn't waiting for it to come to him. He was going out looking for it, and that as soon as he hit, he stuck, and they just couldn't get rid of him, sort of thing. So, big shout out there, Jack, for that. Ringer, mate, what did you see throughout the game?
Red mist mainly for most of it, but yeah, mate, I'm just sick of losing these games, boys. I'm sick of losing these games that we should. Team we got early in the season, we should be just doing what we should do and pump these fuckers. But we managed to find a way over the last few seasons to seem to overcomplicate things too much. Like, we destroy them when we just run up the guts, and then we eventually just break them. We break teams. They just can't handle what we can dish up through the middle, especially in periods there when we had X and Haas and Carrigan on the field at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, good luck. But, it just comes back. Patience. We weren't patient once again. We were trying to pull the trigger too often, like exactly what Langer said. Cobbo taking the outside when it just wasn't there. There wasn't the room there. Like, he's thinking, I want to score now. I don't want to, cut inside and get 3 defenders on me and get a quick play of the ball and then give space to someone else. He wanted to do it then and there. Reno with that ad-lib left foot kick on I think it was the 3rd tackle to try and get to Jesse, which was, I understand, it was only a couple inches from coming off. But, I mean, it's Dom Young. The bastard's 7 foot tall when he's walking around, let alone, it's not the percentage play. Like, grab it in behind him, get a repeat set, and then bust him next time. But I've come up with a theory, right? Broncos the hottest team in the NRL. I think we can all say, bar none. Look at our throbbers.
Yeah, look at us.
They're a hot bunch of boys, not us. The team. But being all done, young hot boys, right? Probably not many long-term relationships about them. They're not. No one's taught them how to do a little bit of foreplay, mate.
Oh,
The bloody
right.
strip up, like they're just fucking. We seem to just jam it in dry and hope for the fucking best and hope, hotness and enthusiasm get us over the line instead of, laying a platform, getting it nice and bloody soaking down there and then fucking hammering it home. It just doesn't make any sense to me why we keep going down this path of giving teams the ball for no reason. And I think too many hot boys, they don't understand what foreplay is, mate. They didn't have to work for it like us battlers did. They get what they want and they fuck off. And I think that's how they're playing their football at the moment. Go in and lay a platform and the absolute cream will rise to the top when it needs to. So I think, our completion rate down again. Kick defusal was abysmal, 50%.
Yeah, 50%. Yep.
Shocking. 13 errors again, which they had 13 too, I think, but, that doesn't excuse it. But the thing that is, I will say in our defence, is that how the fucking hell can we have 6 ruck infringements and they have 1, and they not be offside once during that game?
Yeah.
Not once when they were in outside their 40. When we were outside our 40, were they offside once? That just that gives me the shits. Like, fair enough if we fuck up, but you're telling me they weren't inside 10 metres once when we were going on those attacking raids and we had them a bit scrambled there? There was not one person offside. It gives me the absolute shits. And I know, we're probably laying on them a few times there to try and, get our boys back in line and you get those 6 agains on that. But there seemed to be a few there when they were hammering our line that I think led to Crichton's try, where it just absolutely was relentless. It was just fourth tackle, 6 again, fourth tackle, 6 again. It's like, Jesus, boys, you're making it hard for yourselves. But, I mean, you just don't see much in them, if you know what I mean. They just didn't seem to be just all of a sudden the bell goes and you go, oh, okay, apparently we did something wrong. So I will defend them for that because it was always on our line. Like, there was no... We just kept defending and defending. We had to crack. We were busted. But we didn't take our opportunities. We put ourselves in that position, and I think that's what gets us in the end, is that, we'll go through the players soon. You go through the rest of it, mate. There's no bad performances probably, except for probably Benjamin Hunt. But not that it was bad. It was just error-riddled, Like, it was trying. It was just silly mistakes that cost us in the end. But, yeah, mate, once again, patience. Foreplay footy. I'm going to coin it. Foreplay footy. Lay a platform.
Nah, I fucking love that, and we'll run with that for sure. Maybe that's why the little general's getting so frustrated, mate, because he's been there. He's married up.
He's been around.
He knows around the ripples. He knows what to do. He knows where to get it.
I know. What's Benny Hunt's home life at the moment? Because 4 errors. What the fuck?
Yeah, maybe we need to get onto his missus to give him a bit of a fucking touch up.
Yeah.
Like, wait, that's not how it's done. Like, you want to put tinfoil hat on and have a go at conspiracy about 6 agains and whatnot. There was that one, the first penalty I think the Roosters gave away, where the ref was basically forced to blow it because it was that bleedingly obvious, and he could see he was like, fuck, I've got to blow this. And he's just like, mate, what are we doing here, sort of thing. And I am yet to see, and if anyone listening has it, send it to us, please, because I want to see it. I am yet to see why Goswelski got sent to the bin.
Yeah.
Because that was later, wasn't it? Like, there was no replay. I didn't see.
Yeah, he ran out of the line, and to shut down Radley. And if there was any sort of head-high contact to Radley, who is a walking CTE fucking biopsy waiting to happen. There would have been symptoms and shit there for sure. And I haven't seen an angle. I've rewatched it on KO, and as far as I'm concerned, it was just a good hit, shut him down and whatnot. But
another one too that blew me away was the Katoni Stagg ones. Like, they already made the error. If you're gonna bomb Katoni for apparently hitting him high. And he was giving him a bit of a rub, but I mean, fair enough. Put him on report if you want to. You don't. Yeah. Like, they had to change 2 decisions then to give them the penalty. And I was like, bro, calm down.
Yeah,
it wasn't that bad.
I go back to our chat, I think, last episode or the episode before. If it's forceful and an intent, yes, But if it's a head high and an accident, penalty. Just
That's it.
Yeah.
blow the
Yeah.
fucking penalty. Like, yeah. There was plenty of moments there during the week where it should have just been a penalty. But anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll move on to man of the match to do a bit of a lighter thing before we get to the players. Had a really good turnout for the polling for the Thoroughbreds man of the match. Threw me, actually. I mean, it makes sense when you look at his stats and whatever, but I did think that it was going to go a bit different. But Selwyn Cobbo scored about 80% of the votes over all the platforms. And his stats were 4 points with 1 try via that intercept, 16 runs for 167 metres and 39 post-contact metres, 4 tackle breaks, 5 tackles with 3 missed and 1 ineffective for, what do we got there? I didn't do the efficiency right there, I don't think. And then 2 errors. So, and he did have a lot of, other than the getting bundled over the sideline, he was involved. He was pretty active. 16 runs, and a lot of those runs were with intent as well.
Yeah.
So that was good. So well done, Thoroughbreds there. Well done, Selwyn, for that. For us, man of match, I had to actually do a split decision on this one. Initially, I set out and I looked at it. Shibasaki, solid. His stats were 20 runs for 157 metres and 50 post-contact metres, 1 line break, 2 tackle breaks, 11 tackles, 2 missed, 0 ineffective, the 1 intercept, and he had 1 error and 1 handling error and the offside there. And I was like, yep, 20 runs, lots of involvement, plenty of metres, nice post-contact. He was active, he was everywhere, getting in amongst it. And then I ran my eye over the usuals, which is Carrigan, Reynolds, and Haas. Now, Haas did well, as he always does, sort of thing. Reynolds had a bit of an off night with the kicking and whatnot, so a bit down there, whatever. But Carrigan, he did 3 runs less than Shibasaki, so 17 runs for 159 metres and 45 post-contact metres. 1 line break assist, 2 offloads, but 30 tackles, 0 missed.
Yeah.
Lad got into his work in defense and attack. He had 2 errors, 2 handling errors, which very, very off for Carrigan. And the Roosters certainly capitalised on those little errors slipping in. But yeah, so we've gone Patrick Carrigan and Gamat Shibasaki for our man of the match there. Other than that, everyone didn't, like you said before, not really one person stood out and played a shit game. Jaden Hunt, take a bow, mate.
Right.
You grabbed that run-on jersey with both hands and took it. Even took up an extra spot there in the centres. I think, was he playing centres?
Yeah, he had to. Yeah,
and we pushed old mate out to the wing. So, top effort there. We'll get into the top performing players. So, Kobe finally got to the top of the tackle count for us, which was good. Given he also only played minimum minutes too.
Yeah.
He came off in the 26th minute, I think it was. I'll just have a quick look here.
Yep.
Yeah, it came off in the 26th minute, and then stint 2 was the last 20 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
So
it was odd. I think there must have been some sort of it must have fucked their plans when Jack got sent to 10, and they must have had to burn someone that they didn't want to. Like, it must have ruined their plans, because I think it was 46 minutes he ended up playing. He made however many tackles. Like, he made the most tackles in that amount of time. So,
well, I think I've got it here. Oh no, Jaden came on for Jesse. It doesn't say what do you know when Jack got sent? What minute?
29th.
Was it the 29th minute, was it? That's the same time that they brought X on and Carrigan off. And then we didn't do another interchange until the 49th minute.
Yeah.
So our fitness is still up there. Like,
oh shit, yeah.
Doing 2 interchanges during the match in the first half is pretty good, I feel, for that. Anyway, most run meters was Cobbo on 167. Most line breaks, there's a couple there. Staggs was the one that the NRL put forward. But Shibasaki, Arthurs, they also got one. I think Jaden got one as well. Walsh was the most points for us with 6 after he took over the kicking there and his try. Post-contact meters was Haas on 68.
Yeah.
Man was a beast. That was the most in the game too. Nat Butcher got 66 for the Roosters.
Yep.
Shibasaki took 20 runs. Tedesco took 23. Bloke was active as. Most offloads, Haas and Carrigan with 2. Most tackle breaks was Haas again with 6. So yeah, it was difficult for man of the match for sure to split them all because we sort of just all played the same sort of consistent game. We just didn't execute once again. Just frustrating. But anyway, we'll get into the players and whatnot. We'll go with the back line. Walsh, Cobbo, Staggs, Shibasaki, and Arthurs. Much better in everything for this week, including the defense. You can see by the overall defensive percentage of 92% that everyone sort of stepped up. But the back line had the most points, most tries, most runs, and most run meters, which was insane to think about considering the forward pack that we do have and what they were doing, winning the average set meters there. They had the most line breaks, most try assist, most tackle breaks, and the most missed tackles, which is pretty standard. It's what we pointed out last week, where we said that they really had to pick up with their errors because unfortunately they had the same. They had 5 errors in total, which is down from last week, but still they still had the most handling errors and whatnot. So, Ringer, mate. Anyone there that you want to glaze or call out?
Yeah, mate, I think same old. They were pretty good, weren't they? It's such a strange game. Like, it was just frustrating moments, wasn't it? It wasn't like we already said. There's no individual really performance that you can point to and go, oh, this is why. It was just everyone chipped in to fuck up at exactly the wrong time, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, Cobbo, mate, after he did, he went out over the touchline and then he took that intercept. From there on, he bullocked us out of that back end of when that young Hugo, who can kick like a motherfucker. Holy hell. Sick of him. I bet you, well, I was sick of him. Imagine what them poor bastards were feeling. But, like, he'd kick them out of the shit the whole time. They'd be inside their 40, and then next thing he's bombing one down to inside our 10, and we'd be galloping all the way back there on our own to sort of retrieve it. So, and Cobbo did a hell of a lot of those hard meters out of our own end, and so did all of Gamart too. But so I thought he really lifted his game up, mate. After that, Reece was good. I don't understand the criticism of him all the time. Like, what was he meant to do in this game? Like, he didn't get the ball a lot of the time. They used him as a decoy a fair bit. He was good in defence. I thought organising our line, like, they pretty much got through when we were about the 4th set in of defence most of the time. So, so the only thing with him is that these big elaborate takes from bombs and stuff. Like, I think he can calm that shit down a little bit. Like, you already have some trouble underneath the high ball, Reece. Like, if you can't get to it, mate, just catch the bloke who's going to catch it, and then, we'll work from there, or just go up for it. If they get over the top of you, fair enough. But you see him come flying in and does these big mad dives and end up getting taken out, and he's only going to hurt himself. And he can never get to the ball anyway. So that's something that, But also, they're isolating him. Teams are isolating him in that sort of regard. So we need to get him some help back there, whether, we get one of our wingers back early enough, like, make them go around us. Who cares if they're going to? Like, get Cobbo back there. So if there's big chases coming through, set Cobbo up to take it with a bit more height and, reach and that. But anyway, Gamut was good. Just stock standard bullocking runs, and Jesse got hurt. Oh, well, got knocked the fuck out, unfortunately. But, even his stats, he was pretty quiet too early on in the game. Katoni, again, like, he wasn't bad, but he doesn't go looking for it. anymore. Like going looking for the pill. Like just come into the middle of the field and take a few runs when we've got him. You know, he seems to be isolated on that right side, and that might be what they're trailing him to do. But yeah, once again, you can't. There's nothing really bad that happened. It's just no one really wanted to take the game by the teeth, by the look of it. So, yeah, mate, it's not unfixable. They could literally play that same game without the errors next week and pump someone by 50. So,
Yeah.
just get the few of the errors and the restarts out, and they'll be fine.
Yeah, that's it. What about you, Langers?
Yeah, I know. I agree with the Ringer completely, really. It's good to see that the total of the back line had 5 errors and it wasn't just Reece Walsh with 5. Like, that's always good to see that he's definitely working on those errors in his game and he's trying to reduce that amount. So him having 1 and 1 handling error, like, yeah, we'll take that all day. So that's good to see. Stags, he had 19 tackles, and I thought about 18 of them were aggressive tackles too. So that's good. Like, he's obviously very good in defence. Like, we all know that he's a gun in the attack as well. The old Katoni Stags fenders, you put that in the museum. It's something to behold. But no, apart from that, like, everybody just sort of did their job. The stats are looking good, which is sort of unfortunate for how the game did sort of pan out and the score was the way that it was. Gemmett, 20 runs, 50 post contact, take that all fucking day for a centre. So there's no sort of glaring sort of issues or anything like that. There was no one that's just shitting the bed. Unfortunate of Arthur's to fail his HIA. The head clash didn't look that bad. I thought he was going to be all right. And then we'll just go off for a HIA. I just thought it was like, just give him a rest sort of thing more than anything. And then, commentators come on saying that he failed it. So I don't know. He might just be dumb as fuck too. So. What's 2 plus 2? I don't know. Let's sit this one out, mate. It's good stats for a team, but disappointing, obviously, that you can put these stats up and still have the result that we did.
Yeah, that's it. A lot of Stags as tackles, you're right. Pretty solid, but he only got through 13 runs. You can see Shibasaki's looking for it. He goes in and has a go. So it'd be good for him to come in. He's, solid, runs the ball hard and whatnot. So, but on the same time there, Jesse's side, like that side that they're on, just doesn't seem to get much action in defense as well. Jesse's never doing a lot of tackles. So I don't understand why teams don't sort of head down that way. I mean, you've got Selwyn on the other side. So I don't see why they run it so hard. But with Selwyn, when you got bundled into touch, you're going up against the giraffe in Tupu. You've got to have a lot of real estate on the outside there to do that confidently, sort of thing. So that was a bit of a mistake that he would like to have again, no doubt.
Definitely.
But I mean, Reece, unless you're a full hater, there's not really much that you can do to shit can the bloke with a game like that. Yes, he didn't win us the game, but he line break assist, try assist, had an offload in there. All that, 14 runs for 126 meters. And he got the chocolates there. He got a meat pie as well. Anyway, it baffles me. I understand the lad wears, he wears a bit of nail polish, but far out. If you're threatened by that, you've got things going wrong with you.
Bigger issues,
Yeah, you got other issues going on. Yeah. But anyway, hopefully we can sort of, no doubt Madge this week's going to have some set stuff that he wants to implement going up against the Warriors. I hope that next week we'll see a more focused team on doing the small things right. Because we're going to have to, because far out the Warriors are going to be stinging after the Storm put a humping on them. We'll move on to the halves. Hunt, Reynolds, and Pakesy there. They had combined of 2 line break assists, which was great to see. Try assists by Pakesy was a good one. Defense was at 88%. Benny Hunt calmed down the missed tackles, which was good to see. Him and Jack were combining pretty well to make their tackles on that edge. That was, I think, once again, what did Corey do? Corey got through 28 tackles and 1 miss for 97% efficiency. And he played 53 minutes too, which pretty good sort of work there. Ben Hunt, though, 3 errors and 3 handling errors. So it's pretty hard to get going in the back line when the link is making a couple of mistakes and at critical times too. It wasn't like they were just, we tried something. It was pretty standard play and whatnot. You could see he was definitely getting frustrated. That pass that he threw, though, where it looks like his eyes are about to roll into the back of his head on the replay, I don't know who to blame there. Like, I didn't think it was a bad pass from Hunt. I feel like Jaskowski should have grabbed it, but he let it float through thinking that it was going to the winger, which was just a bit unfortunate. So that was another missed opportunity there as well. Langers, have you got any chat there on the halves, mate?
Yeah, like if there is sort of a glaring sort of issue, it would definitely be Hunt's errors and his handling errors, which is, it hurts me to say because I've tipped him to be the Dally M, but yeah, these errors that the big fella just keeps producing week after week. Like we hammer Reece when he's doing his errors, and we just sort of, the last couple of weeks we've just been going, Ben Hunt, he's had a few errors again. Hopefully we can fix that shit up. But it's starting to be a constant in his game, and like obviously he's a better player than that, and hopefully he can fucking rein that in, but. Yeah, it is starting to become a bit of an issue that soon, the spotlight will need to be on. And, I said it earlier that, I was hoping that Hunt and Reynolds combining in the halves would make it very hard for Ezra Mam to come back. But with Hunt's errors, you're definitely looking at Mam to be coming back into that 6 and Hunt going to 9 maybe, and he can just be the pill dispenser. But in saying that, you got Corey Pakes, who is just doing his job and doing it well. So can you take, the number 9 off Pakes when he's doing it well, when, you do have a bit of a question mark in Ben Hunt? So, it's obviously Ben Hunt is on good money and he is that attacking sort of person that an option, that you can go to, so it's not always just Reynolds, and it does put the defense in 2 minds when, he does get the ball, like, is he going to kick or what's he going to do sort of thing. We're not just always relying on Reynolds to make the play. So that's always good to have that sort of option in the team. But yeah, it is disappointing. And yeah, I was definitely hoping for a bit more from the big fella. So hopefully, yeah, he can start to pull it together. Apart from that, Adam Reynolds, 10 runs, 73 meters. That's good. Love that. See from the little general, he's getting involved. So that's good. That assists that he did with the try, like, I don't know, you can call that an assist. I think all those boys had a bit of an assist in that play. Like, yeah, he drew that defender, did the double pump, and then passed it to Jack. That was basically created that opportunity for Reece to go and score under the stick. So that's obviously very good. But yeah, like, once again, just disappointingly good stats from everybody for the result that we got.
Yeah. And I'm just looking in now, like, Ben Hunt's on 6 errors for the season. And then in front of him, all you've got is Cobbo on 10 and Walsh on 15.
Yeah, right.
So, like, Hunt is starting to creep up there. And that's by far, like, what else have we got? They're the highest ones, by far. So, and like you said, Corey Pakes, he's leading us with tackles, 201. He's running at 94% efficiency with his tackling. So can't complain for somebody in the middle there, which is what his job is. So yeah, what about you, Ringer, mate? Anything on the halves?
Yeah, mate. I think mirroring what Langer said, it is disappointing that it's round 6 and we're still question marking Ben Hunt. Effort, I don't think, is lacking. Like, he seems to be bobbing up. And when he does set something up and it comes off, it's fucking mint when he does do it. But these errors need to get out because we've got enough people in our team, enough boys in our team that'll make plenty of errors. Okay, so we don't need our old head marquee signing to be contributing to that bloody factor that we all know that we've got in that team. So I just want him to clean it up. I want him to settle things down a bit. Like I want him to take the line on more. So at the moment, it seems very predictable. Like he took the line on once and got taken over the touchline, and you could see that coming from a million miles away. But, he hasn't sort of dummied and come off his left foot and sort of taken someone on. So that way next time they're holding a little bit and giving Reece that little bit of extra time at the back. It's very predictable at the moment when they set that shape up that it's going to go Reynolds, Hunt, and he's going to have a block play out the back to Reece and then, try and beat him around the outside where, use Jack a little bit more. And that's why I think Pecura has, nearly got to have him in that team. Give him that because at the moment they're not worried about Gajeski making any impact at the line. Like he can chase a kick through because he's pretty nimble, but I mean he's not an Angus Crichton where he's going to crash the fuck over you. Like these are they need to start having a decent option out that side that holds the defense a little bit. And even Hunty himself, like he can duck under players and have a bloody red hot crack himself, So, yeah, that's one thing I want us to shore up there, mate. Pakesy was great. Hunty, Reno done what Reno usually does, except for missing goals. But I'm sure he's got that out of his system for the rest of the year now. But it's just Hunty, mate. If he can clean that bit of bullshit up, like it goes a long way in setting the tone for the rest of the group, I think. So hopefully that's sort of because, like Langer said, it's round 7 next. He's only got probably 6 weeks, I'm saying, because Ezra can come back in round 10, but they'd have to give him a few weeks in Q Cup, you'd reckon, to get some miles in his legs. But, Benjamin would want to get his shit together pretty quick because, he like he said, he's not going to be pushed. He might go to 14, but he's not going to push Pakesy out of going off form at the moment.
Yeah, that's it. It was good to see Reno get through the whole game. I did wonder if he wasn't taking kicks because of the hammy issue.
Yeah.
But missing them. But again, who knows? I mean, if you're out there, you're out there. And if you play 80 minutes, you'd have to think it's pretty good. What else was I looking at just then in terms of stats? It's sort of, anyway, we'll sort of bash poor old Benny. Every time they ran shape, and they were running that shape where Carrigan would take on the line, last minute, pass it on as sort of a link. Every time they did that, it looked like it was on. It looked like it was really, really good, real slick, but we just didn't square them up enough.
No.
And like you said, Ringer, maybe first 20 minutes, Benny just off the left, take on the line.
Yeah.
Against the Tigers, we used Reece as a diversion really well.
Yes.
You could see that they were really focused on him, and the ball just never went to him. So that was sort of a good play, good sort of attacking plan that we had there. But yeah, we can just make them nervous about one or two more people in that attacking line and what they're going to do. Things will start to open up, especially when we get Ricky back this week. So we got that little bit of a mongrel second rower coming back in. So hopefully we can use them. All right, we'll get into the engine room there. Carrigan, Haas, Goswelski, Hunt, and Hetherington. Hunt making his first game in the starting lineup for the year due to a bit of injury, unfortunate injuries to Ricky and Piakura. Great game, like I said at the top of the show. Great game from Hunt. Well done. 36 tackles he got through. 1 missed, 1 ineffective for a 95% efficiency. So that was really for a starting game and straight out the gate. Good on him. Hetherington as well with that 36. He had 2 missed, 1 ineffective, so he was running at 92% tackle efficiency. The post-contact meter is 181 for the whole forward pack. helped along by Mr. Payne Haas himself, who now, as I just look at it, is leading our squad. He's got a total of 416 post-contact meters, and the next behind him is Carrigan on 349. So we nearly got him by about 100 meters. I was
beast.
A beast, absolute beast. Hats off again to Jaswelski. He went hunting for it a little bit too. He had 10 runs, only 62 meters, but I mean, that's what you expect with Jack. He's got that, bit of a smaller frame or whatnot. 24 tackles with 1 missed and 0 ineffective. Miles different to the last game against the Tigers. Well done, Jack. Great stuff. I'll throw to you, Ringers, mate. Is there anything here that you want to shine a light on?
Well, mate, we could talk about Paddy and Payne all day, but we're going to do that the rest of the year. So I want to focus on Jack and Jaden. I think, mate, in a game where we were looking for scapegoats for, and like I'd already put them in the crosshairs on the last potty saying, I don't think our edges are going to put up with their edges, blah, blah, blah. Mate, I think they both had absolute crackers, and they had to because, they were camped on our line and, they were picking them out. But, mate, credit where credit's due. Jack Goz looked definitely more like a run-on player this week. He went after, like you said, the contact. He hit and he stuck. 24 tackles, great. 10 runs, and he was in the bin for 10. So, you can imagine that extra 10 minutes, he probably gets another, 3 or 4 or something. And that's about where, we want to see him. If we can get around 15 runs out of him a week, well, perfect. Sits around that 30 tackles with 1 miss, mate. Happy days. Like, give me more of that. Jaden is a fleet-footed big bastard, isn't he? He can find a bloody bit of space when he looked really damaging. So, from last week where I was sort of all doom and gloom about what our edges are going to look like, to if these boys can keep putting that sort of a performance together, I'm fucking hyped for what our depth is starting to look like.
Yep.
Like, I still think Bakura needs to be run on, but put either one of them boys on that 17, mate, and I'm not unhappy.
Yep.
If they keep putting those sort of performances together. And I think you got to give credit where credit's due. Like, I don't think there was anything glaring there that pointed to, them looking out of place in a game where, you're playing Angus Crichton and Siwa Wong. So I was pretty happy with them, mate, to be honest. There's probably something escaping my mind that I swore at them for that game, but they wouldn't be alone in that bloody context. So, no, I think we've got to give them credit, mate. And, there's some weird things in our engine room. Like, why did Kobe only play 46? Once again, it must have been something to do with the send-off that ruined a rotation there. Because I couldn't help but think when a few of the moments when they had us pinned on our line, we could have used Kobe's bit more quicker feet around the middle and to sort of shore up that defence. But anyway, there's obviously something's happened there because he wasn't hurt because he did eventually come back. But yeah, I'm really impressed, mate. Again, I don't think it's the same thing. There's not a bad performance. We just made the mistakes at the exact wrong time to make them. That's why the stats don't look bad on the sheet. But when you watch the game, you know that it just happened at the exact wrong time every time. And that was what was so frustrating about it.
Yeah, no, well said there. What about you, Langers, mate? You got anything to add on the engine room?
Yeah, like for a team that, we've been talking about the amount of depth that the team does have, the second row was probably where it was most shallow, I guess. But yeah, the way that Jack and Jaden played, like it's great, like it's exactly what we were looking for, like what the Ringer said. So it's very good and reassuring that, when Jordan, Ricky and Piakura do come back, then, there is a bit of a tussle for those jerseys now, which is always good. You're going to have the best man playing. Jaden absolutely killed it. 6 runs, 102 run meters. So you got to love that. 36 tackles. But yeah, I'm with the Ringer on Kobe. don't really understand why he didn't get too much game time, because Jaden was on the field for 72 minutes and he made 36 tackles, and Kobe was on the field for 45 minutes and also made 36 tackles, which was the most in the team. So, like with those sort of stats, you would have thought that he would have probably seen a bit more game time. But maybe, he was happy to sit on the pine and let Marty and Big X and Jensen have a bit of a run around. Maybe, I don't know, it might have been, Madge's plan. I don't really know. But looking at those stats, you would have thought that, you would have had Kobe out there a bit longer than what you would have. Apart from that, Carrigan and Haas just amazing players. Once again, happily glaze those lads every week. Payne Haas just 68 post-contact meters. Like you said, he's made 400 for the season so far. So he's ran the field the length of the field 4 times with multiple people hanging off it. So,
Climbing, carrying
just an
cunts.
absolute freak of a human being. So love that he is a Bronco, and hopefully he'll be a Bronco for a long time to come. But once again, there's no glaring, issues. The stats are fine. They're good, even. There's no massive amount of errors. There's no, massive amounts of missed tackles or anything like that. Everybody's doing their job. They're doing it well. It's just disappointing, the result that we got from the stats that, we're seeing here.
Yeah. On Kobe's minutes that he gets, he's averaging, his first stint is an average of 26 minutes, and his second stint is an average of 13 minutes.
Yeah, whether he just gasses himself out by just being a fucking tackle machine.
Yeah.
Just like, bro, I need a rest. Give me a Gatorade and a towel and a chair for a couple of minutes. Let me, get some air back in the tank, maybe. But you'd think if you're looking at these stats as a coach, you'd be like, man, the bloke made the same amount of tackles, the most of the team, in 45 minutes that the next bloke made in 72.
Yeah.
You'd be looking to play him a bit more if he is able to be played. Maybe that's the reason why he didn't.
Well, that's it. And remember he had that game as well where he didn't come back on. He did his 24-minute first stint and then just didn't come back on. So maybe he is carrying a bit of an injury that we don't know about, trying to nurse it. So
I just wanted him to smack Spencer Leniu in the fucking face.
Yeah.
That's got to be up there with one of the least popular people in the league at the moment, surely. And it doesn't seem like he gives a fuck if anyone doesn't like him either. So hats off to him. I mean, he's fucking feeding it soon. But anyway, we'll move on. The bench stats, and again, annoyingly, they didn't set the world on fire. Except Big X, he did a bit of a decent thing there, but they didn't do anything shit either. They didn't win any stats, and they didn't sort of blow out the errors. They had one handling error between them all. One error there.
That was X's too, wasn't it? When he went over the try line. So.
Yeah, that was X's. He had 26 tackles, 100% efficiency, 0 miss, 0 ineffective, 9 runs for 70 meters, 32 post contact. Jensen, 12 runs, 119, 39 post contact, 20 tackles, 3 miss, 87% efficiency. Marty Tapua, he got very limited time. He got 20 minutes, I think it was, in the back end there. He ended up 4 runs for 47 meters with 19 post contact, 10 tackles, 1 miss, 91%.
Yeah.
So, no one set it on fire. Willison did try the repeat last week. You could sense that he wanted to, but the Roosters were just shutting us down and we were making errors at critical times.
Yeah.
Just really couldn't get on a roll with it all. But anyway, that's, I haven't got really much to say about the bench other than, Billy came on. He did a little bit of a spark there. He tried something, but otherwise he didn't have a brain explosion either, which was also great.
Yeah.
He didn't try and overplay his hand. But, Langers, you got anything on the bench, mate?
Yeah, it's good that like the bench was just doing their job once again. Like there's not any sort of big holes or anything like that when they do replace the starting side. So that's always good to see. Big X playing 51 minutes. It's sort of, and then Kobe playing 45. I said it last podcast. If you're going to have a bench player playing more than a starting player, and there's no like obvious underlying reason why Kobe only played 45, then you might as well throw Carrigan back to the 13, put Kobe on the bench and put X in the 8, and then you're going to save yourself an interchange, like if Big X is playing 51 minutes, then it just obviously shows that the tank is big enough for him to be able to play those minutes. So, why not give that a go? And then you can have Carrigan, Haas, and X all as your starting forwards. Like that's an intimidating bunch of human beings. And then you got a crazy bloke like Kobe Hetherington coming off the bench and making 36 tackles in 45 minutes. So, like it seems like a win-win if they do that. But, I don't know, maybe, Carrigan needs to be in the 8. It's all part of, Madge's master plan. Who knows? But apart from that, Billy Walters, good to see him not doing typical Billy Walters shit of old that we have seen. So that's always good. Jensen just once again doing his fucking job. Great to see. 12 runs, 119 meters. Can't complain with that. And yeah, Big Marty. Love to see Big Marty, getting some minutes in, even though they were only 18, but they were an impactful 18. And I mean, he's looking dangerous, for an old head. He's still got it, the big fella. So yeah, hopefully we can see a bit more of him. And yeah, once again, just no glaringly obvious issues with any of them. It's just, another disappointingly good bunch of stats for the result that we got.
Yeah, and it just, I don't know, maybe we're being a bit hyperbolic here as well, but if you can't find anything glaring in the errors and the stats, and then you replay and have a watch, and we had so many missed opportunities.
Yes.
It just, those 6 agains, the bullshit penalties, the sin bins and all that played a massive role in the result of this game. I mean, are we being overly optimistic that we're not to blame? Sure, 100%, but it is what it is. Like, pretty hard to argue against it. I know there'll be people out there that will pick stuff up and definitely do it, but what about you, Ringer, mate? Have you got anything on the bench there?
Yeah, mate, I just want to know, do we still have 8 interchanges? Because
Yep.
Okay. One thing I don't get, and I think we should probably do moving forward, is instead of playing Pakesy for 56 and then putting Billy on for the last, why aren't we doing what most teams are doing? We're giving our, starting hooker 30 minutes and giving him a rest before half time, and then, the bench hooker plays that 10 and then another 10 after half time, then we go back to our starting hooker. Because we got that up our sleeve and we don't, because I couldn't help but think, because Billy did nothing wrong, but Pace's obviously got that forward, he's got the forwards in sync so well, and I couldn't help but think that maybe we could have used him there, even for just defense, but for getting our boys rolling forward through the middle, because they sort of seem to be in sync. He's the one that sort of sets up all those plays around when we're looking for points. So I was just wondering why we're not going down that route. But yeah, Big X, I don't think he was as impactful because he spent a fair bit of time on the edge this game. Yep. He didn't get to the middle where he's naturally going to destroy it. But yeah, he had to park up out there on an edge, I think, for when Jaden Hunt he went off for 8 minutes when X come on, and then Arthur's got hurt, and then so he had to play edge again. So he just didn't get to see the pillars much, which is our fault. We should have had him fucking running clean over Sandon Smith all night once he was posted out there, which comes again to our ball players that find X on one of their little guys, just give him some space and let him tear into some poor bastard. But anyway, hopefully get our injuries back on track and we get X back in the middle. I think he'll do well. Jensen does Jensen things. It's one of my favourite players, Corey Jensen. It's like a big warm hug when he comes on, isn't it? It's like, we know what we're going to get. He's not going to drop the ball. He's going to run up. He's going to make 10 or 12 metres per carry, and he's not going to miss any tackles.
Yeah.
And it was good to see Marty too, mate, again. he loves a post-contact meter, old Marty, doesn't he? Gets down low and drives those big old legs, and he sort of forces them back. So hopefully, if he gets back into a team, I'd like to see him get sort of 18, 20 minutes where he can sort of get into his work and get more confident with, because I'd love to see a Marty offload lead to a try. We got to see that before he leaves our shores, don't we?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there was a bit of shuffling there. We don't use 8 of the tackles. I don't think Madge has done it, and possibly leaving it up his sleeve in case something horrendous goes wrong, someone gets an injury or whatnot.
Yes.
But yeah, it is a bit weird that we don't do that. But I mean, yeah, one of those things. That's it. Anything else on the bench there? I was thinking just before about with Jensen. Is he what time's he coming on? He's coming on. He's normally the first on, I thought. He replaces Kobe.
Yeah.
So I'll have to take more notice in the next couple of games about what it does look like, because like I said, Carrigan was doing a lot of linking towards the end there. And I am wondering if he's going back to that lock roll mid-game sort of thing, starting the game at prop and then shifting back. Yeah. And then when Hetherington comes on, he plays more that second row sort of outfit. So might keep an eye on that going forward. We'll see what we can pick up. But other than that, it's disappointing that the game that was, there's nothing glaring to go, that's where we went wrong. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see, how we go against the Warriors and what the team looks like. So
once again, though, a loss isn't the worst thing for us, because we lose to the Raiders in similar fashion. Like, bombed a few opportunities, should have won, didn't. And then next game we come out and actually play footy and, hurt people. So, it might be a pattern this year until we actually learn to do the same thing, like to get consistent, is that these losses are going to come and it's going to shock them back into reality to go, oh, damn it, we've actually got to turn up and play football and then we'll win, you know what I mean? Because I think that does creep into them. I think it does creep in where they think we're at home, Roosters are 16th, we'll get out there, charge up the middle, it's going to come easy. And when it doesn't, they sort of panic. So hopefully that's what happens, because it's a big trip going to Kiwiland.
Yeah, isn't it? Going to know about it on the plane ride home too. Yeah. We played the Raiders, came out, stepped up against the Cowboys. You would say that we did step up against the Dolphins to some degree. Again, errors got in our way there, but we handled it. The Tigers game was a bit of a mixed bag. You could see a bit of complacency slip in. Some things, errors again, whatnot. Thankfully, the Tigers weren't good enough to take advantage of what we let ourselves down in. And we just came up against the Roosters team that got embarrassed round 1, didn't want to happen again. And we tried to play the same, or we played the same game. So, essentially tidy up a few things. It is round 6. We're still in 3rd. Don't get your, frowns, going yet, thoroughbreds. We just need to click and we'll start to see some magic, hopefully around magic round would be great. All right, we'll move on to the Gronk. You can imagine what he's like. They've had a win. Although I would take our loss over their win, the way that they went about it. But yeah, here he is.
Well, yous are back. The 2024 Broncos are back. And I'm allowed to fucking tee off on you this week because we won and you lost. Albeit we played as if the ball was doused in baby oil. We still fucking won. And honestly, it's a bit concerning to me how the Broncos, I know things weren't landing for them. You should still find a way to win the game. You have the two most experienced halves in the game, and I'm very surprised how they didn't straighten yous up. Yous were so side to side. It was fucking horrendous to watch, particularly for my tipping. But yous put yourself in a bit of a bind now. You go Warriors away next week and then back home to arguably the best defensive team in the comp and on a massive roll, the Doggies. So there's a fair chance you could lose the next two. And after that, I'm pretty sure you have to leave Brisbane to play rugby league. So
What an arsehole.
Yeah. Fuckhole. We have to leave to New Zealand this week, so calm down.
Yeah, no. I mean, I would like to put, not money, but I would like to put the team that plays the Bulldogs when we eventually do. I reckon that team that plays would have flogged the Roosters by 50 again.
Yes.
It goes back to the mindset that we do going into games. We'll be up for the Bulldogs, whether or not we win or not. It'd be great to get the win and break the streak, I guess, because I don't think they're going to lose this weekend.
No.
I
Or
think
they're
that's
playing
pretty
the
well.
Rabbits or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So it'd be great to give them their first L, but the team that runs out and plays will be probably the best team that we've fielded all year.
Yes.
We'll have a lot of our starting guys. Yeah, we've had a lot of our starting guys back. The mental will be good. I think we're down at Are we at Belmore for that one?
For the
For the
I'm not
doggies.
sure.
no, we're home.
Oh, are we? Oh, how glorious!
That will be sold out.
That will be a good crowd.
Yeah, Thursday night.
Oof! Make sure you get out to that one. That'll be a cracker. Langers, mate, what do you got? Chat on the Gronk there.
Yeah, I think we'll pump the Wars, to be honest.
Yep.
Especially after how they played against the Storm today. Obviously the Storm are the fucking Storm, so
Yeah.
you take that with a grain of salt, and they'll obviously be looking to bounce back. They obviously always turn it up when they play a home game, the Wars. The crowd obviously gets them more motivated than usual, which is always good to see. But yeah, I think the Broncos can beat the Dogs, to be honest. I think the Dogs have had a pretty soft run against the teams that they have played. Don't get me wrong, they're clicking like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
So, hopefully the Broncos can give them their first L, because I don't think the Bunnies are going to be the ones to do it, this week coming. So once again, he's not totally wrong, is he? We have been at home for a little while now, so venturing out and playing other venues might sort of be a bit of an issue for us. But Broncos 13 plus, mate.
As long as it's not the Titans on a Sunday afternoon. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, fuck.
What about you, Ringer, mate?
Yeah, no, he's right about how the halves didn't guide us to a win there by sending us sideways and not using what we have at our disposal, which is an embarrassment of riches of big, huge cunts to just take it up the middle of the field. But anyway, we won't tell him he's too right too often, I suppose. But yeah,
that's all I've done.
Damn it, we're failing at this shit. But yeah, no, a trip over to New Zealand is not going to be easy, and they actually did beat Melbourne in the second half today when Hughes went off. So they weren't bad. They won't have Fisher Harris by the look of it.
Yeah.
But, they'll just roll out some other huge Kiwi dude to run it up the middle. So we'll have to be good, and I think we will, because we won't want to – it'll be embarrassing to lose two in a row to teams that we need. So it could be a good run for us, because they're going to have to switch on this week if they think they're going to do anything this year. The weekend after is they're going to be the competition heavyweights so far in the Bulldogs. So if you don't get up for that game, well, you're not going to. And then the next one's Magic Round, where we play Penrith. So, you got 3 weeks here where you can go, we can make some serious headway into this competition. If we pick up these next 3 wins, we're nearly into the teeth of Origin time, and we bank these points and we stamp some authority that we're going to be in this comp right to the end. So, no doubt they'll be talking about that. But yeah, it's just, I can't help but think there's going to be a couple of games where we just put it all together, and it's going to be terrifying for the competition, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I hope it's around Magic Round because blood in the water with Penrith. It'd be great to
I know.
hand them
wary.
a L.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that's it. All right, we'll move on to the week ahead. We've got a couple of injuries here. Thankfully, it's getting less. We've got a couple of coming back from suspensions, which is good. So on the injuries, we've still got Fletcher Baker and Hayes Perham. They are to be confirmed when they're coming back. Well, we know Hayes isn't coming back till next year. Jesse, I haven't seen much word. I know he failed it. It was a Cat 1. So from what I understand, that's an automatic 11-day protocol.
Yeah. Yep.
So he won't be coming over to Go Media Stadium there. He'll have to come back against the Bulldogs, which gets me excited for who will take that spot. I know Mariner's sitting there. It seems to be the obvious choice for Mariner to come in. But Leota and all that playing in the Q Cup, they haven't exactly done shit. So it'll be interesting to see Teamless Tuesday, what they roll around with there. What do you bring him, mate? Mariner for you or?
Oh, I think he will get it, but God, I'd love to see Israel get a shot. Imagine having wingers of Israel, Leota, and Selwyn Cobbo either side of the field, bookending. You know, there's some serious athletic talent there. So I'd love to see that. But Jesse's been good for us and he can find the strike, but he hasn't been great. So Mariner could take this with both hands and, you know, put his name back. He's not going to take Shibba's spot at the moment. So, you know, he could be like, well, if Jesse shits the bed, well, maybe I can get in there somehow because Shibba's gone from a bloody fringy to in Origin chat out of bloody nowhere. So, So I think Mariner will definitely get the run, but God, I'd love to see Big Israel get a absolute rip tear.
Yeah, that's it. Mariner's got a set of wheels on him too, so
speed
could light it up with a bit of if we eventually square up the defense. So, what about you, Langus, mate?
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be Mariner. But yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see. Like there is obviously options with, once again, the amount of depth that the Broncos do have at the moment. So yeah, if Israel gets a run on, that'll be just as exciting. And, you know, I think everybody will sort of wrap around that as well. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Madge comes up with, but you'd think it would be Mariner, you'd think.
Yeah. I do hope Israel gets a run this year around Origin. With Cobbo out and I don't know whether Staggs hasn't sort of put himself forward, but the way that the injuries are going for New South Wales, he could still end up there.
Yeah.
So, and then in the judiciary, obviously we've still got Ezra there. Brendan Piakura has got one more game to serve in his 2-week for the careless high tackle. Katoni Staggs, free to play. First offence for grade 1 dangerous contact on Sandon Smith. I don't know. Like, I seen the replay and I was just like, there was no need for it. I know there was no need for it from Katoni. Yeah. But anyway, $1,800 if he early guilty fees it, and $2,500 if he tries to fight it. The big one that I am hanging out to see what they do is the Jack Kwiatkowski one. Because all of them so far, early guilty plea, move on. Yeah. This is one where I think they could actually fight it and win.
Yeah. Haven't seen a thing.
But in saying that, it's a crackdown. And if you go to judiciary trying to fight a high tackle,
during
you're probably going to lose. During a crackdown, you're probably going to lose. But he'll be 1 week guaranteed, or 2 weeks if he tries to fight it. So he's out this week, unfortunately. But we do have Ricky coming back in. So I'd imagine Jaden would go back to the 17 role. Ricky would come in. Actually, it'll be exact
Jaden
same.
will probably get another run.
Yeah, Jaden will get another run. Ricky will come in on the other side there or maybe Jaden will go over to Kwiatkowski's side. And then Marty Tapau will get another chance to go around again, which would be good. See him over there. We need thickies against the Warriors. Fight fire with fire when it comes to that.
Bunty Afoa today is a terrifying human being to stand in front of, I bet. Holy fuck.
And that number 17, I can never pronounce his name. But he is a human. He is, that try that he scored, bustling through about 4 of them there and then flipping over to get it down. Far out. Good luck. And that brings us to the head-to-head chat. Warriors v Broncos, Go Media Stadium in Auckland on Saturday the 19th at 5:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. We head overseas to the Long White Cloud, land of the Long White Cloud. And I am nervous about this. I was nervous quietly about the Tigers. Then Luai didn't play all good. I was kind of worried about the Roosters, but didn't think I had to be, but it turned out I did. But this one, I am. The Warriors are coming off that thumping at the hands of the Storm. Like Lang has said, they did beat them once they lost a bit of direction there in the second half. They're back on their home turf. They're undefeated on their home turf.
Yep.
And they'll be wanting to keep that streak. It's notoriously difficult to play over there with that crowd behind them. We're obviously looking for a bounce back of our own. Surely Madge has some things that he wants to implement this week at training. Hopefully Barrett has seen some weaknesses in the Warriors line there that we can exploit. But we'll be looking to complete some KPIs, play simple footy, do what we need to do, and we'll get it done. The head-to-head, 22, we've played 44, and we've had 22 wins against them, which is pretty tight when you think about where the Warriors have been over the last couple of years and where we've been, I suppose. Completion rate, we're up there at 84%. They're down at 78%. Sorry, the opposite. We're at 78%. They're up at 84. Tackle efficiency, they've got us as well. Pretty close, 88.2% up against our 86.3. We've had the same amount of wins, same amount of losses, and uncannily enough, we've both lost at the hands of the Raiders, and we're both coming off of losses in the past weekend. So this could be a great game to kick off the weekend that is footy. The last time we met, unfortunately, it was during that little bit of a shit period in 2024, and they thumped us 32-16. They had 81% of the completion up against our 77. It's good to see that our tackle efficiency was right up there at 92 as well. But anyway, it is what it is. How do you see this going, Langers?
I'm obviously worried. Like I just said, the venue just it adds points for the Warriors. Like the baking that the away team must cop from the people going there, the fans. It would be nearly on par with the Blues coming to Suncorp for Origin. They would just be copping an absolute tongue lashing for 80 minutes. Especially the wingers, the ones that are closest to them. So. That obviously always helps the Waz. They're undefeated at their venue, and they're obviously, like you said, they're going to want to keep that going. Like they are a bit of a smoky team for the Broncos. They sort of always give it to the Broncos, and they won last time. So I mean, if you are a Broncos fan and you are a little bit worried, I think your worry is a bit justified, but. You look at the teams on paper, and we have a phenomenal team that can pump them 13 plus. If they put it all together, and the errors that we do seem to have week after week, if they aren't at those crucial times like they have been, especially this game against the Roosters, then we'll be fine. So hopefully, during the week we can put it all together. We can get a good trip over there. We can get acclimatized and ready, and come out firing.
What about you, Ringer, mate? Thoughts? Yeah, it's very much similar. I'm always worried about the Warriors, especially over there. They're always up for. They're so physical that it can take it out of you. But watching them today, I think like if we compress our defense, try and make them go around us because their halves are, relatively inexperienced in Metcalf and Chanel Harris DeVita. And they do have errors in them when they try and get around teams. So, like, if it was me, I'd be trying to compress the defense, make them try and go around and try and force errors because there's not a huge amount of speed except for Tuapiki, and he's only a tiny little fella that's going to be on whose side is he going to be on? Oh, he'll be on Mariner's side because they had to switch him today because Xavier Coates was just going over the top of him at will. Poor little fella. But so yeah, and attack wise, it's pretty simple. Again, don't run it at the huge men in the middle. Try and target their halves and create some space around it, and then just be patient because the opportunities will come. So it's the same old thing. If the Warriors get on top of you early, like we've been letting teams, we could get absolutely pumped because they're a confidence team. So I think, that's what I mean about compressing the defense, get that shit out of us early, try and, just work our way, foreplay footy, work our way into the game, get it right early, and then, we'll come away with the points in the end. Like the points will come, and they will give us the opportunity. But once again, mate, the best thing about this competition, it doesn't matter who you're playing, you don't feel comfortable unless it's probably the Knights at the moment. But yeah, just throwing that out there. Sorry, boys. Sorry,
Rest in peace to the United boys. I'm just having a quick look at the forecast for Auckland as well. Thursday is rain, possibly heavy with gale northeasterlies.
Excellent.
Yeah, so the way that we've been going in the rain, we'll take.
But we're
a little bit
playing
of
Saturday.
confidence.
What's Saturday say?
Just got it on. So still rain with northwesterlies.
Don't know what that means. It's going to be wet anyway. Sucks.
Yeah. So great equaliser. The way that we've handled ourselves in the rain, in the wet. Happy days. We'll get them. I'm back on the train. 13 plus. Let's go.
Yeah.
Doesn't take me much, thoroughbreds. All right, we will get into some tipping and accountability with a bit of super coach and some betting sprinkled in there.
We don't have to.
We don't. We definitely do. This week we do, and then we'll reconfirm for the next week and see how that goes as well. But with the tipping, I'm still top of the leaderboard. Happy days. Look at me go. Have I used the Joker? Yes. Anyway, we'll move on from that. Master Bateman. Obviously a Cowboys supporter. He activated his tipping Joker, and he come away with 5 correct tips for a total of 10. So all he's done though is lift himself off the bottom. He's sitting
Not
on
unlike
the
Cowboys.
Slippery Gypsy Langers and Ringer. You matched him. You got 5 as well. So that's good. But you guys are sitting about 6th and 7th. So
Which I want to protest. I'm going to throw this app to the shit because on the last week's show I did say the Dolphins. This is horse shit.
Tipping doesn't show it though.
Moving
on.
You can find the dictionary between shit and syphilis.
Second place in our tipping, down to you, Langers, in 6th, is tied on 27 points. So love that for us. Very competitive. I'm out by 3 on 30. However, Gronk and I bringing up the tail this week with 3 correct tips. So I can't be doing that too many weeks and expect to have a happy ending. That's for sure. And then the super coach, BJ's Battlers, Blair, mate, you move in the first place on the leaderboard there, but a massive weekend for Master Bateman as he takes out the super coach as well. Huge score of 1,350. So well done on that. I am quickly losing touch with the fucking front leader. Ringer has overtaken me, and I've got the Gronk sniffing behind me real close as well. So I think he can smell blood in the water with the way things are going. But we'll move on. We'll do some trades, and hopefully we can rebuild from there. Our overall league is doing really well still, which is great to see. Great to see, actually. I think we've got about 26 in the comp now. We've had a couple jump in, which is good that you can transfer your points, obviously, straight in for the season, but makes it good, makes it great, makes it competitive. We will move into this week's tipping, and this game, apart from the head highs and the crackdowns, is just the best to be tipping on. I started, one bloke on our tipping started out undefeated the first 3 games and then didn't win a tip for the rest of the week. So he was quite the opposite of me. I went red, and I was praying for a green tick. So I don't know which one would be worse, getting the ticks late or getting them early. But anyway, I'll shout out the Gronk and then I'll throw to you lads before I give you mine. Gronk's gone the Dragons, Bulldogs, Storm, Waz, Penrith, Raiders, Sharks, and Tigers. You'll see on there, Thoroughbreds, he hasn't backed a Queensland team at all this weekend. So
That's unlike him.
Yeah, he's just about to crack out his Blues jersey. It must be getting around Origin time. He's getting that hate built up. So, is he still? I know. Little story time, Thoroughbreds. Gronk grew up in a very competitive household with Ringer here. And just to really shit people off, he used to back the Blues in the Queensland in the Origin just to piss the rest of the family off. Does he still do it, mate, or has he come back?
No. He'll tip them and try and he'll try and reverse psychology his way out of it, but then he'll go and smash something up if we lose. So he tries to talk himself into it so he doesn't feel the pain of the loss, but it never works.
Yeah, fair enough. Righto, I'll throw to you, Ringer, mate. What's your tips?
Right, mate. I'm going Manly, Bulldogs, Storm, Bronx. I'm going the Roosters, Raiders, Sharks, Tigers.
Okay. Yep. I see what you're doing there. What about you, Langers, mate?
I've gone Manly, Doggies, Storm, Broncos. I'm going to go the Panthers because I've got a bit of a theory. Every time that I tip them, they lose. And I'm more than happy to lose a tip and watch those motherfuckers lose. So I will tip them, hopefully, every single round, and I will lose every single round, and I will be absolutely delighted with my tip. So I will go the Panthers again, hopefully for another loss, and then Raiders, Sharks, Tigers.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm going to go to Dragons. I'm going to start believing. I don't know if that's going to work out for me, but Manly went up against the Sharks, which tell me that they are a bottom 8 team now, as far as that concerned. So that's where I got that logic. Bulldogs to keep the streak home, keep the streak running at home. Storm to hump the hapless Dolphins at Suncorp there. Maybe Jerome plays, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. I'm not all over what happened to him. Broncos to break the streak at the Warriors, Go Media, Fortress. I've got the Roosters, but I can just tell now that this will be the week that the Panthers bounce back in a huge way. Raiders, at the time of this recording as well, Thoroughbreds, the Raiders and the Titans are even money at $1.92.
How?
Yeah.
Is Tino back this weekend?
I think so.
That could be.
That's the only
I
thing.
don't know. That could be. It's got to be the only thing. Anyway, I've gone the Raiders. Sharks to pump the shit out of the Knights. We all know the Knights are definitely a bottom 8 team now, and the Sharkies love a good bottom 8 team.
Yeah.
So they'll make McDonald Jones. I think are they at home at McDonald Jones? They'll make that an unhappy hunting ground once again. And then I've got the Tigers to stay in the top 8 with the win over the Eels. So yeah, that's how we've got a couple of similarities there. We're also split on a few, so it should be interesting when we reconvene again this time next week to see what the ladder's like with the tipping.
Yeah.
Be interesting enough. All right, best bets. Britto's a happy man.
Oh, he's back.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks in a row, thoroughbreds. If you're not on me, mate, you're not feeding your kids, as far as I'm concerned. The kids are missing out on that good cereal.
Yeah, that's it.
Instead of having to have that all brand stuff.
Yeah.
Reaching in and getting the crushed up wheat mix at the bottom of the box. If you're not on me, Paddy Nicholson, $3.35. Thoroughbred gets over.
I had to wait too.
I had to wait, mate. That was, and when I seen Huddy Young go over, I was like, it's just not mad. It's not Nicholson's night. Like we're on the wrong side of the field here. But thankfully he got over, which was good. How'd you guys go? Langers, did yours get up?
No, I had Tedesco and Broncos head to head. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, I didn't get either. And obviously, the head to head hurts a lot more than fucking Teddy not getting over. That's for sure. So another week and another X for me, mate.
That was how Tedesco didn't get over. I don't know. The man was everywhere.
It was everywhere.
And then did you back the Panthers, didn't you, Ringer? Was that you?
No, mate, I had the overs for the
That's
Cowboys
right.
South game, but both teams decided to play as if the ball was fucking lava or something. They dropped it for about a good 35 minutes in the first half, and then they ended up scoring 40, so I had them scoring over 49 and a half, so it was only a try and a half away. And then I had Sebi Crest, who ended up getting over late in that game also in Darwin, so I wasn't far off. I was 9 points away for a little win there, but hey, that's punting.
That's it. That's why it's called gambling and not winning, I guess, hey?
That's it.
But Thoroughbreds, we are trying to get us a giveaway. Our first one surely is coming. We'll go back to the drawing board and see what we can come up with this weekend.
Favourites from now on.
Boy, that's me. That's me this week. Fuck yeah.
I don't think there's too many upsets that are going to happen this weekend, but I said that last weekend. When it comes to the road to 1 million, 4 out of 15 legs hit. In good news, though, and this is good news, this is the second week we've had 0 voided bets. So, we're just missing them completely now. We're not even getting them.
It's a thin silver line, but we'll take it.
Anyway, the breakdown this week will be Ringer, mate. You have the first 2 games. So you got Manly, Dragons, Bulldogs, Rabbits. The Gronk is going to take the next 2, Dolphins, Storm, and the Warriors and the Broncos. I'm sure he'll take great delight in the Broncos game. Langers, you have the Roosters, Panthers, and the Titans and Raiders. So good luck with the Titans, Raiders.
Yeah, cheers.
And Roosters, Panthers.
Yeah.
0 result in that.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, cool.
Oh, I should be all right here. If we're relying on me, hopefully we're all good. Knights, Sharks, Tigers, Eels. Surely I can get a couple of green ticks out of that if that's what we're relying on. But yeah, it's up to you guys to get us there, I guess. So I'll just be Usain Bolt in the last leg of the 4x100.
Bro, I'm
Anyway,
gonna that pick your own line wheel. I'm just gonna spin it until it says $1.01.
Yeah, no, fair enough. As always, Thoroughbreds, make sure you're hanging around for Thursday best bets. We are getting there. If those that weren't hitting them early, they're starting to hit them. Those that were hitting them early, they're not. So hopefully we pick it up and we meet in the middle in a couple of, this weekend would be nice, but we'll get there eventually and we'll get a giveaway. So make sure you're on them. And at least one of us is hitting every single weekend.
Yeah.
So tune in, shave your little shekels, and just put a couple of dollars here and there for a bit of fun responsibly, of course. I think that's about us. Any wrap up before we wrap up? I think we've pretty much covered it.
I think the JT and Spencer Leniu thing's pretty interesting. How confident that kid is to just fucking call out like you said, Britto, an immortal in waiting. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, you're a fuckwit. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
And because apparently I've seen one little article where it started, was he give Billy Walters a fucking mouthful because he was the he was one of the players called to give evidence in when he got banned for that racial slur in Vegas. So he called
right.
a fucking grubby snitch or some bloody thing. And then, so he was already not, he didn't shake hands with him or something. And then they got the bit butthurt and then called him a fucking grubby snitch or some bloody thing. So he was already fired up. And then apparently JT was sniffing around looking for an interview or something. And then he told him, you're a fuckwit, don't be fake. You're against me and all that sort of stuff. So it was like, the fella had a bit on. So
Far out.
I just want someone
Yeah,
to
right.
cream him and just bring him back down a bit. Like, good on him. Like,
Yeah, fucking oath.
even Thurston said, like, all the reports early on of the racial bullshit was bullshit. He didn't say anything racist. He just said you're a fuckwit. So that's pretty,
Okay.
you know. But
Yeah.
so that's interesting that he's just doubling down on this. I'm a cunt and I'm gonna fucking be one, you know, attitude. Which is because it's hard to stop him. And, you know, if he keeps playing well, like, what are you gonna fucking do? He is who he is.
Yeah, that's it. And I mean, it's got form. I mean, even when he was at the Panthers before he went over to the Roosters, him and JWH had a run in on the field there, and you know he's well known for having a hot head. I wonder if it's just coming off the field, that period between when he gets off the field to when he's calmed down enough to sort of, it just takes a little bit longer than most other players. But that's not taking a step back. So I mean, hats off to him. But mate, if you're putting a sky blue jersey on and you just pissed off one of the Origin greats, good luck to you. So, and then I think the Cowboys played the Roosters in a couple of rounds. So, Lolo could wind the clock back a bit and run clean over you if he wants to. So, what about you, Langers?
Yeah, I think he's a fuckwit. I said it in my game breakdown. So, but like the stones on the lad for like having the 17 on his back to come up to an immortal in waiting like JT and then, just have the wheels to fucking say what he said. Like, he is a hot-headed, and I know maybe the Roosters need to employ like a carer or something for him, like
Get
a
him off
winder
the field.
or something, and get him off the field and gag the lad before he causes any more harm. But no, like, you know, he is a decent player, and hopefully someone can come and iron him out, and that'll be lovely for everybody to see.
He put out a statement today on Instagram. I think it was, I didn't say anything bad to JT. I just didn't want to do an interview with him. Well, the footage that we seen, you were definitely aggressive in what you were telling him. It was
no, thank you, Jay. Yeah, no, thank you.
It was a very aggressive no.
I didn't say anything bad, but you know,
the way that I said
it, could have been taken out of context.
Anyway, it'll be interesting to see what comes of it. It sort of grew a bit, like it started from nothing, and then
I'm just trying to find the exact quote from JT. I did have it saved for this exact moment, and now it's gone. Which is that's not unlike me at all. Spencer. This is from Jonathan Thurston. As Spencer left the field during last night's match, he made an abusive comment to me, which took me and those around me by surprise. The comment was not of a racial nature, but was overly aggressive in tone and unwarranted. After the match, I approached Spencer on the field to seek clarity on what he said and why he had said it. Spencer was again very aggressive. Spencer don't give two fucks. And this is the other part too. It said it's also reported that Billy Walters attempted to shake Spencer Leniu's hand post game, but he refused and called him a fucking snitch. It's believed Billy Walters gave evidence of racial slur in Las Vegas.
Fuck me.
Spencer's got a long memory, bro. He's like the fucking mafia.
And, like, I get it. Like, when you justify it, like the suspension that he got compared to what Ezra got for what they did. And Thurston was very vocal at the time about Spencer. But Jesus Christ, lad. Hold a grudge. Anyway, water under the bridge. Ezra will be back soon.
Good theatre rugby
Good
league.
theatre. Good rugby
love
league.
To see it.
Keep it in the season, not in the off season. That's what I like to see.
Exactly. That's the lad sorted out.
It's good to see someone just telling an immortal to fuck off.
Yeah.
That's big. That's a big set of fucking stone.
What did I say at the time? Telling a future immortal to fuck off when you're wearing the number 17 on your
Yeah.
back.
Yeah,
Coming off the
big
bench
stone.
hard, bro. Fuck off.
Anyway, we move on with that sort of stuff. Hilarious. Righto, thoroughbreds, that's us for another week. Send us your thoughts on the game. Send us your thoughts on the podcast and the content that we are pumping out on social medias. If you're listening to us, you have found us. So please spread the word. Tell your friends, tell your mates, tell your family members if they're Broncos lovers, even if they're not. Tell them that we got a better podcast than what their team does. Head over to our socials on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. I seen this during the week, and I think it's great. So if you guys can like everything we put out, it takes you zero time, costs you nothing. Gets us really good, though, with all the likes and whatnot, so that, we can move on to bigger and better things, hopefully, go up in the world. A comment gives us motivation. We absolutely love the engagement. It doesn't matter what your opinion is, because everyone's got one. It doesn't matter whether it's right, wrong. It's only up to you whether it's right or wrong, really. Sharing our content introduces the podcast and our platform to a lot of other new people. So if you could do that as well, share it to your stories or whatnot, repost it on TikTok, and then hitting that favorite button, if that is the option, like on TikTok. That just helps us with engagements. We understand what people like and whatnot. Teamless Tuesday posts on TikTok get a lot of favorites. Everyone sort of likes them, so that's good. We're going to keep going with them. If you could just help us out by engaging, it'd be 100% awesome. Love it. But other than that, bet responsibly, be a contributor to society, stay out of one another unless it's consensual. We'll gallop off into the week, and we will see you next week after the Warriors game. See us.
Cheers, thoroughbreds.
Cheers, thoroughbreds. Have a good Easter.